Shabbat. We feel honored and very privileged that we can share this evening with you and our entire B'nai Israel family. October, as I'm sure you already know, is considered a pink month in honor of breast cancer awareness. But it's important that you truly understand that breast cancer is not only a disease in which women can fall victim. Men can and do suffer from breast cancer as well. It is not as uncommon as you may think. This awful disease, which is more prevalent in the Ashkenazi Jewish population than any other, does have specific markers which can be looked at through genetic testing to see if one possesses them. These genes are referred to as the BRCA gene and will be discussed further during the Oneg in the Social Hall following our service by our keynote speaker and presenter, Yvonne Ruddy-Stein, and I will share more with you on Yvonne later, but she's sitting in the first row. You can say hello. It's important to realize and to state that specific cancer awareness does come in a variety of colors. And although tonight we are recognizing pink for breast cancer, this evening is in no means diminishing any other type of cancer that our family members may have suffered from or do suffer from. Something else which is important to recognize about cancer is that it's not prejudice in any way. I recall visiting my mother on the oncology floor at North Shore LIJ Hospital. My mother had leukemia, a blood cancer, and I vividly recall seeing women and men of all ages, nationalities, and races on that floor. I even learned about the special floor devoted specifically to children suffering from the disease. Visiting that floor was just heart-wrenching. The Torah portion this week, Bereshit, is about creation, the creation of the world, the creation of the Garden of Eden, and the creation of humankind. The women's commentary talks not only about the creation of humans, but of another very important and significant creation, the one of human partnerships. God discusses that human isolation is not good and therefore creates a helper, a counterpart. Some ancient scholars suggested that women were created to comfort and ease a man's life. And you heard me say a man's life. Leaving that aside for right now, in our times, in many, but not all cases, but especially when we talk about breast cancer, it's often the men who are comforting and helping the women. So go back to change a little bit. As we honor those victims of all cancers and those survivors, we should also honor all those who are partners in comfort and in healing, the doctors, the nurses, and the caregivers who spend time with these individuals. We bless all who nurture wholeness and peace of mind. On behalf of our sisterhood, thank you again for being here tonight to honor, support, and to learn more about breast cancer awareness. Think pink and all other colors representing cancers. We now go to the reading on the bottom of page 140. The righteous bloom like a date palm. They thrive like a cedar in Lebanon, planted in the house of Adonai. They flourish in the courts of our God. In old age they will produce fruit. They are full of sap and freshness, attesting that Adonai is upright, my rock, in whom there is no wrong.
And right on that page, on that same page, is Sadi Katamar. And I'm inviting up the sister choir members to sing with me, but I'm inviting you all to sing. We don't have any male voices up here, so we're hoping that you fill in some of those missing voices. I have to get the first note, please. Sadi Katar Yivra Keres Bar Yizke Shetulim Bebet Adonai
page 125. Our reader is Abby Peklo.
Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished? Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time. Contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world on this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide.
Thank you. Page 120, Pauline Zimmerman leads us in candle lighting. Page 120.
Please join with me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu
We turn to page 138 for L'chadodi. We sing the first, the second, along with the ninth verse on page 139 of L'chadodi.
Ishmi Anu El Hamyicha Adonai crowns kala, b'nei kanesha, b'nei kala. Lecha lecha dodi, lecha di crowns kala, b'nei kanesha, b'nei kala.
Page 145, our reader is Joyce Hoser.
Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer, on the mystery of a withered leaf, on the ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, at each morning and night. You renew your days, let my days be today, as for one before, let less routine set my way.
Thank you. Page 146, we rise for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai, Hanevarach. Baruch Adonai, Hanevarach, Leolam Vaed.
And I read at the bottom of page 148, Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
Baruch Adonai, Amaravi Paravi.
And the bottom of page 150, Praise to Adonai, who loves your people Israel.
Baruch Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Page 152.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. Page 154. We join together with Linda in the Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'kol nafshecha u'b'chol me'otecha v'hayu ha'dvarim ha'ele asher Anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam b'ham v'shivtecha v'beitecha u'vletecha v'derech u'shokbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'hovot alotecha v'hayu letotavot b'neinecha u'chtatam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha l'man tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'lohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'hiyot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
I'm at page page 157. Leah Linton is our reader.
In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Mi Chamocha, page 158.
Ya bum bum bim bim bum, ya bum bum bim bum, ya bum bum bim bim bum, ya bum bum bim bum, ya la 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 la, ya bum bum bim bum, ya la 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 la, ya bum bum bim bum. Mi chamocha b'nim Adonai, mi chamocha nektar b'kodesh, no rotting load of Sephela, no rotting load of Sephela. Ya bum bum bim bim bum, ya bum bum bim bum, ya bum bum bim bim bum, ya bum bum bim bum, ya la 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 la, ya bum bum bim bum, ya la 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 la, ya bum bum bim bum. Malachutecha rahu vanecha, bokeh ayam lifnei Moshe and Miriam. Zeli, Zeli, anu ve'anu, Adonai imlo le'olam ha'ed. Ya bum bum bim bim bum, ya bum bum bim bum, ya bum bum bim bim bum, ya bum bum bim bum, ya la 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 la, ya bum bum bim bum, ya la 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 la, ya bum bum bim bum.
Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. On page 160 will be found Haporei Sukkot Shalom.
Baruch atah, atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Baruch atah, atah
Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael.
Vishamru, our prayer for Shabbat, will be found on the top of page 162. On page 165, Linda is our reader.
Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you.
Our service continues across the page with the beginning of the Tefillah, page 164. We rise. We also invite forward at this time Peggy Klein, who will be reading our Kedusha prayer in English.
Baruch
Klein is our reader.
Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, "How filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it." Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh.
Amen. Please be seated. We turn to page 178 for Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace.
Shalom Rav Israel Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Israel Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Tasim leolam. V'tov b'necha levaret et amecha Yisrael. B'choret v'choshav b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam.
Silent prayer, page 180, 180.
Yield ratzonim refim. Yield ratzonim refim. Behagal libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri v'goali. Only the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart, be acceptable before you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer.
join us.
Oh, say shalom in Roma. Huya say shalom aleinu. Be'al Yisrael. Le'imenu, le'imenu. Amen.
Our reader is Ivel Kovner.
I wanted to read this poem by a friend, Carol Dine, who gave me this book almost 30 years ago for her son. On Menemsha cliffs for my son, you stretch your long, thin legs like a wild deer, and I follow you up the mountain, deeper than red knot rock or a substitute for rock. The clay swallows our footprints. Soon you will forget the mountain. Your voice that calls me will travel along a ribbon of wind until it learns the rules of thunder. We are walking on the ledge of God's forehead. When we climb down to the ocean, the breaking waves will wash our feet.
Thank you. We invite forward Ina Borenswag, who is our reader.
I'm reading a prayer for those who help. May the one who blessed our forebearers be present to those who provide help for ill and troubled among us. May they be filled with fortitude and courage, endowed with sympathy and compassion, as they give strength to those at their side. May they fight against despair and continue to find within themselves the will to reach out to those in need. And in their love of others, may they know the blessing of community and the blessing of renewed faith.
There are many gates. The gates of repentance, the gates of prayer, the gates of compassion. In Ashkenazic Europe, women shared too, in Yiddish, the techinas, supplication at the gates of tears. They prayed for their families and for themselves, for health and dignity and strength. Remembering their faith tonight, we whom likewise know the human condition of anxiety and concern, pause to name in public or in our hearts our dear ones in need of healing. We also express gratitude to all who engage in healing, all who seek to help and to comfort. May our supplications bring us from the gates of tears to the gates of hope and renewal. Each Shabbat we pray on behalf of dear ones within and beyond our congregational family. I invite you now to raise your hand, and after I silently acknowledge you, speak the names of persons for whom we should pray this Shabbat.
Lance Hellman and Marty Goldman. Keisha. Harriet Blum. Lisa Stone. Deanna Ginsburg and Jack Husker. Loretta Allen and Carl Appleman. Bruce Green. Victor Doherty. John Cairo.
Page 371.
There is great strength in this beautiful community.
And we add Mary King Curran.
Please join us. Let's all join together and sing this very, very powerful prayer.
Me.
586, we rise. Those who are able for the Elenu. The Elenu that we chant is the second Hebrew paragraph down on the page. We invite forward Jason Goodsmith to open our ark. Please be seated, page 591.
V'ne'emar v'chaya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yihei Adonai echad u'shemo
Page 598, 598. I ask that those in mourning or remembering the anniversary of the death of a loved one and who have trekked to the sanctuary during Shiva or Shloshim or for Yartzeit, should you be able, please rise when their name is mentioned. During Shloshim, we remember Rosalind Zakin, wife of Nelson, and Morton Goldman, brother of Ira Goldman. This Shabbat, we remember the Yartzeits, the anniversaries of the deaths of Saul Bennett Alderman, Ron Brandt, Annette Bernstein Fain, David Harris Fain, Sonia Frenkel, Doreen Halberstam Sage, Jean Comator, Ida Medin Leopold, Lila Leopold, Martha Protter, Anna Rearson, Saul Rhodes, Andrew Rudin, Edward Siegel, Diane Schwedick, Sarah Roger Strisick, John Weissman, and Nellie Volgemuth. If there are additional names to mention for Kaddish this Shabbat, please feel free to rise and say their names now. A practice within our congregation is to further consider these people. If you're comfortable so doing, we now invite you to share with this minion a brief reflection or reference about a dear one on our Kaddish list. Each Shabbat, we also mention 6 names amongst the 6 million murdered in the Holocaust, the Shoah. We now remember Sander Danziger, Bella Koifman, Chaya Koifman, Mincha Koifman, Raya Koifman, and Regina Friedman. In remembrance and solidarity, and on behalf of those for whom there is no one but us to say Kaddish, we now invite all present to rise if you're able. Page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, B'alma tivrach hirutei v'yamlik malchutei, b'chayei echon v'yomechon, v'chayei v'kol beit Yisrael, ba'agalah b'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah v'varach le'olam almei almaya. Yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei v'kudusha v'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiram le'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shalom rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zechronam l'vracha, may their memories be for blessing. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated. Linda and Sisterhood have prepared a very special treat for our concluding hymn prior to announcements, and then welcoming Yvonne Ruddy-Stein in our social hall for her presentation this evening.
So this is a very special evening. Sisterhood is an incredible group, and we do all stand to support each other through hard times and through times of joy. We celebrate together. So we are singing tonight, Lean on Me, because we all lean on each other, and that's as it should be. I'm inviting my sister singers up, the choir members that are sisters, but everyone should sing with a loud voice with this wonderful song. And I want to give a special thank you to Sisterhood, who provided all these wonderful details, but in particular Michelle Rosen, who made this place very, very special and especially beautiful tonight. So thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Yes, it's a very pink night. And you look out, I hope you see all the pink in this room. This is a very pink room. Please, let's sing together. Sandy. Oh, and even we have plenty. We have lots. We're going to have a pink blessing. Wow.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, I'll be your friend, I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till you're gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. Just call my sister when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till you're gonna need somebody to lean on.
Lisa?
I forgot that I have to put this one off. Sorry about that. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much to our service leaders tonight, and again to Michelle for what a beautiful pink evening. Good news? Anybody want to share good news? Dawn!
I have a new great-grandson.
Benjamin Blake, beautiful. Anybody else? Good news? Birthdays or anniversaries? Oh my gosh, where does the time go, right? Stephen?
My mom just celebrated her 84th birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to your mom. Beautiful. Okay. Saturday, October 6th, tomorrow, 10 a.m., there will be a Torah study. On Tuesday, October 9th at 11 a.m. will be Rabbi's discussion group, and at 4:15 p.m. will be religious school. Friday, October 12th, 7:30 p.m. Erev Shabbat services, Noah's Ark night. Upcoming events. Do you have a preschool age child or grandchild? Please ask us about our Babies and Bagels and our Mazel Tots programs. There are outside in the hallway flyers. Trivia night is next Saturday, October 13th. Bring your friends and test your knowledge. RSVP to the office, please. It is such a blast. Please join us. Intro to Judaism classes are being offered by Rabbi Eric on 7 Sundays starting on October 14th. Please call the office for more information or to register. Sisterhood is visiting a mikveh and learning about the process involved in this ritual. Join them on October 17th as they visit Mayim Chaim in Newton, Mass. for a fun and educating program. For more information or to RSVP, please contact our very own Peggy Klein. If you shop at Laban's, please hold on to your receipts and bring them into the office. Laban's gives our congregation a percentage of all receipts that we collect. Tonight's oneg, I'm sure, is going to be very pink. And it is sponsored by our sisterhood in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month and the October birthdays. Thank you, sisterhood. Michelle is going to come up here for an introduction. Am I correct? Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom once again. I'd like to introduce Yvonne Roddy-Stein to all of you. You know, I've come to learn that Yvonne is not unfamiliar to many of you that are here this evening. But for those of us who may not be familiar with her, she is an advanced practice registered nurse who has been affiliated with Polikoff Breast Care since 2005. In practice for over 24 years, Yvonne received her Bachelor and Master of Science in Nursing from the University of Pennsylvania. In addition to further her knowledge of genetics, she continued to pursue her education and received certification in advanced genetics nursing in 2011. Just on a personal note, she's also a spouse and a mom. And last year, Yvonne shared some of her extensive expertise with us and with our community when we did our J-Screen and Brocker event, and we're delighted to have her back again, and welcome back to B'nai Israel. We're so glad you're here. And after our oneg, please, when we go inside, grab something and then sit down for a great presentation.
And just prior to oneg, we now invite forward Dawn Tendler, Sharon Goldman, Heather Sipley, to join us in our Kiddush. Kiddush will be found on page 123.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing it. Okay.
Let's actually do this.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei b'riah
Amen.